Today we're going to be breaking down exactly how much you actually need in order to start Amazon FBA properly. So we're going to approach this from a private label aspect, but focusing on higher price products, as you can learn about in this video up here. You guys really like that video. So higher price private label products using GS1 proper UPC codes you own, and also taking into account cash flow as well as all your little expenses, even your Amazon account fee. So here are the major cost areas we're breaking down. Number one, accounts. So all the accounts you're going to pay for, software, of course, inventory. Then we're going to talk about a buffer as well, which is important. Then codes, then listings, and then bookkeeping as well. Some of these are often not covered in this type of video. Now I want to give you a realistic perspective of what this could cost. So first off, you need an Amazon account, and I recommend a professional seller account. That's going to cost you $40 a month. And if we think it's going to take you 3 months before you're really making sales which pay for that account, if we times that by 3, that's $120 you want to have ready and in reserve for that expense. Now just a quick note on this one, you can often claim back the fees you've paid for that Amazon seller account before making any sales on Amazon. You can simply contact them for this, and they often refund you all the fees before your first sales date. So if you do want to get those fees back, it's pretty easy. Just head into Seller Central, and then you can contact them by clicking Contact Us. And if this does help you get those fees back, please also consider clicking the like button. Now you're also going to need software like product research software. Helium 10 at the higher end is $97 a month, and then at the lower end you have Amazon at about $20 a month. Averaging those out at $50 a month, that's what you can budget for in terms of software. Now if you're not sure which to pick, check out my video in the description where I put all of the tools head to head. But at $50 a month, 3 months before sales pay for this again, let's budget $150 for product research software, and also software that might be able to do keywords, etc. Try find an umbrella solution so you're not having to pay for all these different tools, but let's budget $150 for now. Now of course you're going to need to source. One of the very best places to source from is Alibaba.com. You can also get a DHgate account, an AliExpress account, but all of these accounts are free, so they're not going to impact our budget here. Now remember, with Alibaba, it's not only sourcing from China. There are suppliers on Alibaba from all over the world, so that's going to cover your sourcing needs. Now since you're looking for budgets, and that's probably why you're at this video, you're probably looking at the budget for your first product in terms of your inventory cost. And while a lot of people do promote 1,000 units on the first order, I'm going to urge you to think a little smaller on the first order. Think 300 or 500 units. Remember, you don't want to get stuck with hundreds of units that won't sell, and there is nothing wrong with testing the waters before you take more risk off of the table. If the product proves itself and you take that risk off the table, then you can place a massive reorder. You now know it's a sure thing. With any product, you also want to add an extra 30% of buffer or contingency to that product, and this is specifically for first products because of 2 things. Number one, you're going to have a higher PPC spend in the beginning, and you want to have some capital on the side for that. Number 2 is your reorder. In other words, when you place order number 2 of the first product, that could come a lot quicker than you think. You might want to stay in stock and preserve ranking, and you're still selling through order 1, so you haven't got all the money back, and so having a little bit of a buffer there allows you to put the 30% down payment on order 2 before you have all the money back from order 1. Now if you want to know more about cash flow, check my cash flow video in the description, but here's a quick breakdown. You want to do at least 300 units, and you're going to sell this product for over $30 sell price. So in my experience, a product that sells for that or is sellable at above that price is going to cost you between $6 and $9 in terms of manufacturing, also considering customizations and differentiation. So let's say it costs us $8.50 in terms of manufacturing. Then we have to consider shipping. Now if we sea ship this product less than container container load and we think just shoebox type size, because it's obviously going to differ depending on your product size, it should cost us about $1.50 to ship all of these internationally. So let's say from China to the US FBA warehouse. So our landed cost, that's manufacturing plus shipping, is going to be about $10 on this product. So if we take $10 times 300 units, that's $3,000. Now remember, we're going to add in our buffer at this point of 30%. So we're going to add $1,000 to that, and our actual capital we want to have in reserve in terms of inventory and with that buffer is $4,000 for this order. Now, I know some of you might sell at different price points, you might be ordering different quantities. So I am going to break down in a minute exactly how much you can expect to pay for products at different price points and in different quantities. But before that, I also highly recommend you use GS1 GTIN codes for your products. Do not go with the cheaper barcodes, especially for final private label products, which we're speaking of, because those are not going to be tracked back to you. You want codes you actually own. That gives you more ownership of the online places where your product is visible. It traces those products back to you as the brand owner and manufacturer. Now, unfortunately, GS1 codes are most expensive in the first year because you're also going to pay for something called a company prefix. Each code is going to have a certain amount of numbers at the beginning which tie them to your company. You can only buy a minimum of 10 of those codes at one time. Now again, these are the codes that you input on Amazon every time you create a new product on Amazon. In other words, you create the listing on Amazon. Every time you do that, you have to put in a UPC code, also called a GTIN. And I recommend you get those from GS1. As I said, they have your company prefix, and those are what you add products to Amazon with every time. Now, thinking about this in budget terms, you have to buy 10 of them, pay the prefix cost. So it's going to cost you about $250 for 10 of these codes for the first year. So we're going to add that to our budget as well. But now you cannot leave that listing blank. You've also got to have product photos. Paying for professional photos is very expensive, actually between $100 and $500 for one listing, sometimes more. So what I recommend is you do this yourself. I've done this many times, and most of you will have a capable camera. Smartphone cameras are rivaling pro cameras these days. So get creative, and I would take your photos yourself. In terms of models, friends and family make great models. So that's again what I would do, because hiring models is going to be incredibly expensive. And then in terms of editing these photos so they pop or have white backgrounds, use free editing software, or maybe you know someone who can help you with this component. Again, pro photo services are going to cost between $100 and $500 if you want to budget that in. I don't think that's essential at all, so I am not adding it to this budget today. Now, you can also do the keyword research yourself for your product and write your own sales copy. Now, you can often use keyword research found in the above budgeted in tools we've already budgeted for here, and that's why I recommend umbrella tools that are going to help you with everything rather than having many different tools doing different tasks. So we can do our keywords, we can do our copy, we can do our images. Now, in the beginning, I recommend doing your own bookkeeping until you get to a point where it warrants you having a professional do this for you. Just record all the business's expenses and you keep the invoices for all those expenses. On the other side, record all your incomes. So download your Amazon statements and your bank account statements every single month and keep these in folders and just continually do that. You might also want to keep a director's loan account. For example, you might be putting your personal money into this business right now for this inventory. You are in essence, in a lot of cases, loaning money to the company. And that money can be taken back by you later tax-free in a lot of instances, but you have to keep that director's loan account to do that. So your overall budget on average, looking at everything at different price points and quantities, is the following: $4,520. If you order 300 units of a product costing $10 per unit, that sells between $30 and $40. $6,370 if you're doing 300 units of a product product that sells between $40 and $60. This amount if you're selling 500 units of a product that sells between 30 and 40, and this amount if you're going to do 500 units of a product that sells between $40 and $60. Now, as you build this business, there are other things that you're going to want to think about. Automating, handing off certain tasks you don't like. For example, you could take your bookkeeping to the next level by using this handy tool called Fetcher, which focuses on telling you more about your Amazon business's numbers. It is $19 a month. I'll link to it in the description. At the next level up, you could also consider Xero or QuickBooks. These range between about $17 and $35 a month, and they're more your mainstream professional online accounting options. And then at the highest level, you have your own accountants. These should be e-commerce specific accountants because obviously Amazon has its own quirks, but they often going to cost you about $150 a month. You can check out e-commerce accountants in the description as well. They do an amazing job. Now, of course, when your business is making more, you can automate other functions. You can outsource professional photography, listing creation, bring on VAs, etc. And that way you're saving yourself time because your business can pay for it. One thing that doesn't cost a cent though is clicking the like button. If this video helped you understand the fees and costs associated with starting FBA, please do consider clicking that like button and subscribing if you enjoy the content I put out here. As always, guys, I hope you're making some great progress. I hope this gives you a nice path and view to what you can expect building your business, and I will see you in the next video.